Hello, everyone. It's Lindsay Landry, intuitive and spiritual business mentor for healers and heart centered women who are ready to unleash their magic and deepen their success with more ease. So, welcome to Real Magic. If you missed my first conversation last week, this platform basically has been birthed, and my intention for it is for it to be this container where we can have sacred conversations to open the heart and fuel the soul. And so that is my desire and my intention for this space. And today is episode 2. And I don't really have a specific format for when I'm going to be releasing these episodes or recording them. I really want it to be a divine expression and a flow, for when it feels right. And so today I've been deep in my own process, and what's coming through is that I really want to share and offer this process it's really for myself and also for us, as a collective, as a community, for this planet as we are evolving and expanding into more of our beingness and letting go of patterns and protections and all of the things, right? So this is really, I want to offer this almost as a prayer for us. And so there might be real tears like last time. The title of this is going to be Freeing Yourself. And so last week, I shared a bit about my process in this heart magic journey and how it's been cracking me open, right? And, this freeing yourself, it's been along the lines of me stepping into this calling, where my soul is calling me and asking me to go. And I'm going to be talking a little bit about my process of coming to this place of choosing myself and choosing to free myself of the protections and of these things that I've allowed to keep me hostage or allowed to keep me suppressed, right? And so I'm going to be talking about that a bit today. And I'm also going to be talking a bit about the medicine. So my call to the medicine and a little bit more about what plant medicine is, because as I've been deepening into the heart magic container, I'm realizing that a lot of people are new to this, right? And there's a lot of misunderstandings, and it's been a reflection of my process, and the pieces of myself that I've been needing to be with and to heal. And as we dive into this, what I also really want to bring forward is this togetherness. So even when we are feeling disconnected, when we're feeling disconnected from others, when we're feeling like our ideal clients don't see us, when we're feeling like our family doesn't get us, or people aren't hearing us or seeing us in our, truth, or, in our pain or in our story, all the places that we deeply desire to be seen, the truth is there's still this togetherness and the reflections that we get from the outside world, right? The misunderstandings, the avoidance, the, sympathy. Sometimes we suppress our feelings and we hold our feelings together because we don't want sympathy, right? We don't want people to feel sorry for us or to try to fix us. And the truth is, when they show up as those mirrors of trying to fix us or trying to feel sorry for us, right? Or feeling sorry for us, it's still a reflection of the thing that we are needing as a person, as an individual. And so when we can expand our awareness to see that we really are all connected, and even the places where we're getting these reflections that are really painful and really uncomfortable, it's still for us, and when we can truly surrender to that, and instead of wanting to fight it or wanting to blame the other person or project our hurt and our insecurities and our uncomfortableness on the other person, when we can drink the medicine, right, and feel those places in us that are wounded and are wanting to protect and are feeling uncomfortable and all of it, feeling disconnected, when we can turn back to ourself, that is the way that we free ourselves. This is the way that we free ourselves, and the truth is, I went to the gym yesterday and, I've been working this piece of like the back of my heart, and it's like, where is the key? How do I open it? How do I get this open? How do I unlock this gateway? And, when we have these places in us that are locked up, it's so easy to feel like someone else has the answer, or if someone else could just support me, then I could open it. I could do the thing. And it's true. The truth is, we are the one that has the key. We are the one that can free ourselves. We're the only one that can free ourselves. And, it's both enlivening and devastating at the same time. Truthfully. To know that we are sitting in our own creation. It's both life-giving and the deepest grief, And so this morning, I was up close and personal with all of this. And I've been offering, this Heart Magic program, and I've been, like I shared last week, there's like no words for me to express this. And I've, even come to this place of feeling almost like alienated in my expression and in the way that I feel, right? I've come to see like my individuality in it. And, it's like getting up close and personal with who I am, speaking this energetic language. And it's like this language that's so deep in my bones and in my belly, and I can feel my womb and my roots just kind of like lighting up as I am just even speaking these words. And yet, it's a language that so many people don't understand, because when we try to understand it with our mind, it's like, it's so different from our mind. The mind doesn't understand it, and it's like trying to, see the sun shining. You see the sun shining and you can try to think about what it's going to feel like, but it's not until you actually experience it that you can truly know the feeling of it and the power of it, right? And so this energy, that I feel, and this creation, this life force that I feel is very much like that. And this Heart Magic program that has been creating me and birthing me and inviting me to step more and more into myself and to open my heart and to free myself. It's felt a lot like that. It's like this not knowing, like, if I take this step, am I going to be standing alone? And I don't know. It's like, and not being able to see, and all the ways of running my business. It's like I've had all these tools, and I've known how to do it the business way, the masculine way, and I was pretty freaking good at it and navigating like intuitive flow with the business structures. And this program is really inviting me to the next level of myself and It's like asking me to drop all that bullshit, and it's scary. It's really, really scary. And so, I'm sharing this, as an offering of if you find yourself in a similar space. I see you. I get it. It's scary. It's fucking scary. And I'm noticing, as I'm recording this, the shadow, right? It's like the light keeps changing. So the light outside is like changing, and then it's changing in here, like, so my reflection, I go from like a shadow to the bright, and it feels like it's all the same, and there's this way that when we're seeing our light as better than our shadow, right? Or our onness better than the truth of what we're feeling and experiencing. Like, we are separating ourself. We are taking ourself out of alignment. It makes it so much harder, right? And there is a miscommunication, because the miscommunication is also happening within. The more we can include all of us, the more we can, rather than trying to box up our own process or what we're feeling during our offering, what if we could use that? What if that is the offering? What if that is the gateway to the connection, right? This is what I've been kind of feeling this morning, but also this weekend. I've been bouncing in this in and out of my process, in and out of feeling everyone around me, and the people that are still in process for Heart Magic, and those who have joined the program, and I've been feeling all of it, and all of it has also been such a strong mirror for me of this place where I'm being called to evolve and to drop some protections, and also step into the next layer of freeing myself. And so I want to share a little bit about this pattern, this layer that I've been working, and how I'm choosing to free myself today. So there's been this piece, and it feels important because, many of the women who have joined Heart Magic are also working a similar piece. And many of those who I feel are being called to this program are in a similar piece as well. So, and maybe you don't feel called to this program and you're still in a similar piece. Like, that is okay too. And so what this, let me see how I want to say it. So for me, it's this, it's a mother wound, and it's also this core wounding, and it's also this place where I leave myself to caretake, or to support others, or to tend the energy around me. And so what I've been noticing, and I've been working this piece for, gosh, at least a year, probably more than that, but like, I've been up close and personal with it for about a year. And what this is it's this piece around support, and it's this piece around I've noticed it. I mentioned last time that I was in, I worked with a teacher for about 2 years, and I started noticing this pattern with her. She was really reflecting it to me and showing me. And so what would happen is, when she would come to support me, I would automatically go into supporting her. And then I felt like I wasn't met, and it was also really painful because it was like I also felt like I couldn't receive support. And so I was very aware that like I was not able to actually receive support. And even in the not receiving support, I was still being supported. And this has come through this weekend. It's like even when we are supporting others, we are still being supported. We're being supported by our soul. We're being supported by spirit. We're being supported by gravity. So if you notice yourself in this space, I see you. And also, like, it's painful and you're not necessarily doing anything wrong. There's this way, and I found myself this weekend, like, going into this, like, wanting to fix the thing. And, like, if I could just open my heart and I could just support myself and I could just pull this energy to myself, then I could have what I'm desiring, And there's this way that it's like when we do that, we're actually trying to change part of ourselves, and it's creating a bigger separation. And so so I've been just being really present with this pattern and just feeling all the layers of it. And so again, noticing, like, as I have been offering heart magic, there's this way that, like, when people start to inquire, like, I notice myself, like, starting to open and to support them and hold space for them and their soul, right? Because it's so easy for me to see and tune into that presence of what's available for someone. And, when I see that, it's like I am such a stand for them. I was messaging with someone yesterday, and she's, like, struggling in this piece between story and also, like, feeling her soul and feeling where her heart is calling her. And I told her, I said, I'm gonna be a stand for your soul here, and I'm feeling like a bit warrior-ish. And also what I've been noticing is, like, that's also the invitation that I've been needing for myself. Where can I be a stand for my own soul? Where can I be a stand for my own work? Because I am the only one who can free myself. So if I'm always standing for other people and I'm not standing with myself, even if that means standing alone, then I will end up alone. Because I'm leaving myself. That's, like, the cosmic joke of it, And so I've been feeling into this and just being really present and, like, just loving up on all of these parts and pieces, right? Because it is painful and it's infuriating and it can be confusing. And so this morning, when James left for work and I finally had some space by myself again, which again, it's like, this is the layer that I've been working. It's like when people are around me, so even if James is around me, I notice this way of me, like, opening to support him, and then it's harder for me to fully tap into me. And so when he left, I dropped into my process and I started, praying, and I started asking, like, what is it that I need? And I put on my teacher, again, this teacher that I've been in her programs for 2 years, I put on the Verse radio show that led me to say yes to magic school. And the name of the show is Band-Aids and Greens. And what she was talking about on this show is grief is praise. And they're not separate. and there's this way that we want to make them separate when we're letting go of patterns and we're trying to create the new thing. It's like we try to just be in the new energy and put the pattern over there, or we try to like launch something and be happy and feel good and talk about all the glitter of it, and we try to box up the shadowy pieces where it's like painful and it's hard and it's asking us to grow, and it's lonely, and it brings forward all the fucking ego, and as I listened to the show, and I also had some wounding with this teacher, like I said, she was showing me this pattern of, I would go into holding space for her, and in a way then I felt like I couldn't be seen by her in the way that I deeply desired, and I felt like there was this this miscommunication where I feel my throat getting tight as I'm just talking about this, but where like I could feel our hearts have so much medicine for each other, and then it's like in the human form, like again this energy language where it's like, why can't we just have this in the 3D, like aching for it in the 3D, and it's like there keeps being this communication, this like different language. And so as I listened to her show this morning, I was remembering what called me to this work. And, it's this: grief is my prayer. My emotions are my prayer. They are the thing that both individualizes me, right? It makes me me, but it also is like the gateway for my connection. What I do know about myself as a healer and as a person is when I feel myself, when I feel what's moving through me, it's an opening for everyone else to feel themselves. And sometimes that's painful, right? Because when you are afraid of yourself, when you're afraid of your feelings, when you are afraid of what's true for you, then you want to fix. You want to fix the person that is feeling so intensely, because it's like, well, if she, feels better, then I will be safe. And that was this pattern. That was this childhood pattern that as a child, it's like, this way of I am such a feeler, and then at the same time, noticing and seeing how my feelings made my mom, uncomfortable. It's like, as a mother, it's like she didn't know what to do, and she loved me, and she was loving me the best way she knew how, right? And as that child, it was easier for me to soothe her and to leave myself, to leave what I was feeling to soothe her emotions, right? This is like the multiple layer of it, right? So it's like I was so afraid of her feeling her feelings because I was feeling such big feelings, right? That I left myself to soothe her. And it's like the truth of it is we both need to be in our own experience. And so I've noticed myself doing this throughout this launch, this way of like feeling where my clients are in their process. And, I've kind of been like slipping between my process and their process. And it's fucking exhausting. It's exhausting. And also, there's like a new way to love. And we're all learning it, right? And so as I was listening to the Band-Aids and Green Soul radio show this morning and just crying and crying and grieving and grieving and grieving and grieving and crying and remembering that like my emotions are the thing It's the way that I shift energy. It's the way that I love. It's the way that I pray. It's the way that I create. It's me. It's who I am. It's the thing that I support people with, you know, like helping them to open up their own expression and free themselves from these places where they have boxed up their emotions. You know, when we box up painful emotions, we're also boxing up our ability to praise, to have joy, to have ecstasy, to have this deep connection with God and with ourself. And so as I was just feeling and remembering and letting all of this move through me, of course, my mom sends me a picture and a text this morning. And it was this flower that I gave her last year for Mother's Day. And she said, my flowers are loving the rain. My flowers are loving the rain, the tears, the grief, the praise. And so this is like togetherness, right? When we come back to ourselves, when we come back to the truth of who we are, life starts to show us that. And so I can see, right, me being in my process actually creates opening for her. So I'm grieving and she's praising, seeing her flower and appreciating it. And then James texted me. Well, even before that, I had a memory from 7 years ago that was us like living, you know, and he was in his best shape. I was getting in shape and we were living. We were doing the things. We were enjoying our time together and we were loving and enjoying life like outside, you know? Actually, that was when we went to Arkansas too, and I fell in love with Arkansas, which is why I'm holding the retreat there. But so I saw this memory, and again, it was like this grief and praise, right? Like seeing ourselves and the glow in our eyes and the soul that we both are, and like the big yes that we are to this journey. And then it's like the grief and the heaviness of like where we are, you know, like him wanting to evolve out of his job and not knowing how, and me like desiring to bring my work to this next place and not knowing how, you know, just taking each step as it comes, being willing to show up and to open my heart and to cry in front of you and let it be my prayer. And yeah, and then he texted me. He texted me, you know, as I'm like grieving and praising us. He texted me and his message said, I'm just realizing all of the life and character assessment of self and others is just for creative fuel. And that's the whole thing, right? When we start to realize and see all of life is happening for us. So even when we're bumping up against the pattern, even when we're bumping up against the reflection of someone not understanding us, or, you know, someone worrying about their money story and being afraid to invest in themselves, right? Where is it giving you creative fuel? Where is it inviting you to open more to yourself, for you to be the embodiment of your own work, for you to be the opening? And so as I was feeling into this morning and letting it all just like unravel me, someone messaged me And she said, I think I'm ready to do a ceremony with you. And it's like, of course, right? I'm cracking myself open so that life can flow through me again. If you're not willing to open to yourself, to all of you, including all of you, then you're cutting yourself off from life. Oh my goodness, and my belly is like making so much noise. I want to invite you to breathe into that. And I told her, I said, let me feel in for a minute. And then all of this excitement and joy and like pleasure started bubbling up. And I asked her, I said, would you want to do body work for us at Heart Magic? And in me asking her that, she was like, oh my God, you're opening me to my work, right? Like, this is the thing. We're in this together. We need each other. You need me to do my work just as much as I deeply desire for you to do yours. The way that we grow and evolve and expand, it's together, you know? When you realize that you are not alone, even when you feel so lonely, you are connected. Feel it. Go into it. Let yourself be the prayer for all of us. And so as, you know, we were talking, I started to share with her kind of where I was with this process of Heart Magic and like just this pain and this anger and, you know, this energy that's been moving through me. And I told her, I said, I feel like people don't understand. And she started to tell me she's feeling the same. And I said, okay, I have to be the opening. I have to be the one to open the door. And so I'm choosing to free myself today. And some of my fear around opening this door, talking more about plant medicine, what it is, what are we doing, has been, you know, this mother wound, this generational wound of like the feminine and the masculine and like really deeply desiring to allow the feminine to move me and at the same time feeling, you know, so afraid of like how other people are going to feel, you know. And today what I'm seeing is like I have to choose me. I have to free myself. And I love my family so much. And I know that they love me too. Whether that looks like my mother, my grandmother, or this community, right? And part of me, I'm like, oh my God, I'm like sobbing my eyes out on camera, you know? And also like, this is real. And I don't see this, you know, platform being like this all the time, but it feels really important to me. Like when we're at these places in our process, it's real. It's not just choosing a mindset. We're real people with real hearts and real wombs and real wounds. And the way to heal these patterns is to feel all the layers of it. It's not just to put on a happy mindset and to push your way through. That is doing a disservice. This is painful. So as, you know, it's both, right? It's grief and praise. It's like, yes, I'm freeing myself and I'm grieving. I'm grieving what might be lost. I'm grieving the old parts of myself. I'm grieving people in my community who might not understand. I'm grieving my family. This growing up. And, so with that, I want to just share a little bit more about what is all of this, because so many people, I know that like the plant medicine thing, it's like I've gotten on phones with people about heart magic, and there's been this miscommunication where people like are thinking like greens or essential oils or like fruits and vegetables, and what are we doing? Like, what's plant medicine? And for me, it's this sacred tool. It's this sacred tool, and plant medicine has been here since the beginning of the earth. Shamans, Indians, indigenous cultures have used it for centuries to heal themselves, to pray, to connect with God. And, it's medicine. It's a tool. It's a tool for us to go past the illusions of our mind, to expand and open our mind to more of life, and also for us to connect back to ourself, to set ourselves free. And there's many different types of plant medicine, so yes, greens can be a type, essential oils can be a type. The thing that got me to this work was plant medicine. It was herbs and healing with herbs, and, seeing how using herbs healed my body. And then, using oils to heal my, to help with my spirit and my emotions. And, this plant medicine that I'm working with now is really for the soul. It's for the soul. And some of the different medicines. So when I was in Philosophia, we did 3 different types of plant medicine. And so the first was ayahuasca. And so many people traveled to the jungles of Peru and Amazon to partake in ayahuasca ceremonies, tea ceremonies. And, ayahuasca is known as the vine of death. And she helps you reconnect to your spirit and to your soul. And, it's scary. It is scary. And it's also so freeing when we can let go of our ego, and when we can experience our patterns and experience ourself. And so that was one type. And then San Pedro or Wachuma, which is a cactus. And so this is known as the grandfather, and also the penis of God. And Wachuma is a masculine energy that's super supportive, and it shows this light and shadow and how it's all the same, and we always have this choice. And so again, it brings you deeper than the mind, and it opens you to your soul and to your emotions and to yourself, to remembering. And then, the third medicine that we used was magic mushrooms. And so this is the medicine that we're going to be using in heart magic. And they're of the earth. They're of the earth. And for me, they've been so heart-opening and connecting me back to play and to pray and to feeling and allowing life to flow through me and be expressed through me. And they're teachers, so they actually show you. They show you your patterns. They show you new pathways. They help train you, like in the beginning, what it really was like for me is like having training wheels, having someone actually show me how to do the thing. So how to hold space, how to open my heart, how to feel. And it's the most loving experience that you could, it's divine love. It's divine love. And I've been so afraid to talk about all this because, there's so many society views on all of this. And the truth of it is, these have been used for centuries and centuries before propaganda, before, society like put their 2 cents in. These are ancient tools. And the way that we use them is in connecting to the divine, connecting to yourself, healing yourself. These have been used to heal anxiety, to heal nervous disorders, to heal depression, to remember the truth. And so, when we use this in combination with energy work, holy fuck, it's magic, like serious magic. And when we use this in relationship to opening you to yourself and into the life force that is wanting to be brought through you so that you can create and offer yourself as a divine expression to the world, it's pure magic. And I've seen this, I've seen these medicines transform me. I've seen them transform my boyfriend. I've seen them open some of my clients, some of my dearest friends. And not only us as an individual, but the ripples that we are rippling into the world. My first couple of ceremonies, I remember, after my first ayahuasca journey, I filled my one-on-one practice with total ease. The same thing happened after my Wachuma ceremony. I birthed the Align program, and, clients started showing up out of nowhere without me doing anything. Actually, when I was at the airport leaving that ceremony, I had multiple messages from people that wanted to work with me. I did nothing, right? I shifted my energy. I embodied my work. I did the work myself. I was having a conversation with one of my friends and this weekend, and I was telling her, I'm really tired of healers that are wanting to heal other people and wanting to grow their business and think that they can do it without healing themselves. You are the offering. You are the thing that's going to make your business blossom. You doing the thing for you. You healing yourself. You saying yes to breaking your patterns. Not just mindset. I'm talking deep soul shit. That is the thing. You have to choose to free yourself. Like I said, Heart Magic is not like any other business programs. This is about you doing the fucking work. This is about you experiencing yourself. I'm going to be holding the space. I'm going to be, helping you navigate. I'm going to be shining the light for you. But I'm not doing it for you. You have to do it for you. Just like I had to say yes to me, right? And this is different. This is different because, again, it's not just an energy session where we still get caught in the mind loops. The plant medicine brings you beyond your mind. And that can be really scary. It is surrender. It's all about learning how to surrender to the unknown and also to yourself. This is about surrendering to yourself, to your soul, being willing to say yes to the thing that's calling you. Because no one else is going to do it for you. This is deepening. deepening into yourself, deepening into your work, deepening into your passion, becoming the thing, letting it create you just as much as you create and put out into the world. And the image that's coming forward to me yesterday, I went outside for a minute, and my two cats, so Leo and Saber, they're twins. They were laying on the chair together, and Saber started to, it's again the reflection, right? All of life reflecting to us. So Saber started to bathe Leo, and I was like noticing, and I was watching Lee receive, and then Lee started to try to bathe Saber, and Saber ended up biting him, telling him no, and holding him down, and started to bathe him again. And this is like the giving and receiving pattern, right? So again, the reflection of this pattern of, wait, who's giving, who's receiving, how do we do this? And so I kept watching, and standing there with an open heart, right? Like soaking in the medicine. And then as I kept watching, what I noticed was they started to bathe each other. And this is the thing, when we do our work, it's both. It's giving and receiving all at the same time. We are already all creating together. This is a co-creation. You are not alone, and you will not be alone in this journey. I was talking to someone yesterday, and she's afraid. She's afraid of the investment. And I get it. I've been there. And, I was afraid to fucking do this video. And if I don't fucking do it, who will? Right? And what I told her is like, do you want this? And she said, yes. And I said, are you willing? And she said, yes. And what I said is, then I'm willing to be here with you every step of the fucking way. Right? Holding space, shining light, giving you tools. Like, I help people grow their business all the fucking time. Like, that is what I do, right? If you want to make money, let's make money. I believe we can make money. Like, I've seen it for myself. I've seen it for my clients. This isn't a sacrifice. This is both. This is doing the thing for you as you open yourself. It's giving and receiving. You receive by opening, by saying yes to life. By saying yes to experience. By saying yes to all of it, to grief, to letting go, to praise, to not knowing, and to knowing all at the same time. And so what I feel like I want to close with is, yesterday I was, I think it was yesterday, yeah, I went to the back field behind our house, and there's all these flowers, there's clovers and wildflowers, and I was sitting by the flowers, and I could see the bees, the bees were like buzzing all around. And what I also noticed is, like, amongst all the flowers that are like bright and blooming is, dead leaves, and also some flowers that were dead. And then there was also the ones that hadn't even bloomed yet. And it was all together. This togetherness. It's all the same. The letting go, the death. That actually nourishes the flowers that are like wanting to bloom. It's fertilizer. And so, as I mentioned this weekend in my email, I've decided to leave the portal and the doors open for heart magic. Because I really feel like it's still creating me, And also, there's some ladies that are still, there's people that, I can feel are supposed to be in the program that maybe haven't heard it yet or are still in process. And we're doing this together, right? So you finding your way, you being in process, I'm also finding my way to stepping into this next layer of where my work is calling me, and into letting myself be seen here, into the not knowing of, are things going to fall apart by me saying yes to this? And then at the same time, this knowing of like, no, of course they're not going to fall apart. They're going to come even more together than they've ever fucking been, because that is it. That's the truth. And yet, some of the fears are real. And so I'm just being with all of it. And I invite you to do the same. And, if you are feeling called to this, reach out. Let's talk. Let's be in conversation. The opening call, first call, is today. And it's going to be recorded. And if you're not feeling called, there's something that's calling you in your life. Something that is inviting you to step forward. Something that's inviting you to drop your bullshit. Something that's saying you are the fucking one you're waiting for. You are the only one who can do this for yourself. This is not about waiting for a sign that it's the right time. This is about saying yes. Everything that I've done for this Heart Magic program, there's been no signs. The sign is within. It's this impulse within. It's this longing within. It's this aching within. No one else is going to do it for you. You have to free yourself. So each step I've taken, it's been out of this prayer of freeing myself. Not because Spirit said, do this. Not because I saw this sign that was like, oh, it's all going to work perfect. It's because I am saying yes to me. I'm saying yes to life. I'm saying yes to freeing myself. As you soak this in, I invite you to come join us in the Soul Inspired Success community. Share what's moving through you. Let me know, where are you needing to step more forward? Where are you needing to free yourself? We're in this together. And if you're feeling called to Heart Magic, reach out. Let's talk. All right, my beauties. We'll meet in the tribe. I love you.